And it looks like I'm live. And Happy New Year, everyone. And hopefully, someone will be so devoid of plans for this New Year's Eve, they'll have a chance to actually come in and say hello. I am waiting with bated breath. And let's just see who. Lance Chafin. We have a winner, Lance. Generally speaking, you are the winner as the first person in the chat. And I can't tell you how proud I am for you. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, Lance Chafin is here. He says, Hiya, Thrash. Don't freeze up, okay? Don't freeze up on us, baby. And I don't want to jinx it, knock on wood. For some reason, it doesn't happen in the live chat so much. It's only when I join other people's streams. I think my bandwidth is too weak to support StreamYard, but hopefully we'll solve that when I go back and get a better high speed internet. Dan, the breaking news man, is here. He says, Hi. Dan, the breaking news man. Hi to you too. So great to see you, my man, Dan. Oh my gosh. Derek Runk is here. Oh it's been too long, buddy. Everybody say hi to Derek. I'm sure most of you remember him already. Derek, please tell us he got a part. He got a part in a local film, isn't it? Being made in his area. But that is so awesome sauce. Please tell us. And I'm so glad you could make it. And of course, Happy New Year. Keith E is here. He says, damn. And a damn to you as well. Justin is here. He says, hey. Dan says, I'm number two, the good number two. There's a song in there somewhere. But anyway, yes, Dan, you were the second person to join the live chat. And that makes you doubly appreciated. Justin says, how many people tuned in for Dave's this afternoon and saw it was moved up a week? I didn't get a chance to. I, of course, did the Westerns with Tug, Damien, and Scott earlier today. And then I had a bunch of stuff I had to do in between before I did my live post. So hopefully I'll be able to make it to Dave's next week. And Dave has his plate full. And Dan says, happy 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, putting an end to the endless waltz that was 2023. Goodbye and good luck. Derek said, Derek says, yes, I'm also making a couple films myself. You've been talking about that for ages. That is so awesome, Sauce. When the films I have been in come out, I'll be sure to share them with you all. Please do. Please do. And Derek, I'm so glad things are going well for you. You certainly deserve it. I've been sharing the stuff you send on Facebook, by the way. And again, I'm so proud of you. Oh, and again, what was the name of the part that you got most recently? And of course, congratulations across the board. Len says, congrats to Derek. Keith E says, I turned into Dave and it was next week. Apparently, another person got that as well. Oh, Tug is here. Tug says, hey, y'all. And hey to you as well. Mystery Men and Monsters is here. Mystery Men, or shall I just call you M like I normally do? So good to see you. Gotta be careful. I'm getting these darn pop-ups. Let me just. Yay, the pop-up went away. He says, Thrash. M. So great to see you. And Derek says, I'll be playing Jimmy in a sci-fi film set in the 1950s about an alien invasion. I'm a space pilot, LOL. The perfect part for you. Excellent. And again, congratulations. Oh, Pod Blast is here. He says, hey, Thrash. Pod Blast, how you doing, by the way? Great to see you. So glad you could make it. And I love the Poseidon Adventure trivia. Okay, I'm going to pass it on. May I pass it on? Well, I'm going to anyway. If I outstep my boundaries, I apologize. What iconic one-hit wonder film song was basically the theme song of the Poseidon Adventure. That question was kind of a little convoluted, but yes, there's an amazing song in the Poseidon Adventure. Became a big hit in the 70s. What was it? And that doesn't count as today's trivia, by the way. That's just something that Chance brought up, and I thought it was excellent. A lot of people saying hi to Chance. Jen says, "What's the trivia tonight? I have medium expectations of failure. I tell you what I'm going to do. I tell you what I'm going to do. I promised the Norman Lear trivia, and I will do the Norman Lear trivia. I do promise. But however, someone brought up an excellent point. This was a year of heavy, heavy casualties. We lost a lot of really big players in the celebrity scheme of things. Tonight's trivia, I and tried narrowing it down to 10. I came up with 10 trivia questions, all revolving around big celebrities, loved celebrities that we lost this year. And Mrs. Thrash took it and she got 100. So hopefully you guys will do as well. Tug says, "Hey Lance." I don't know. He's saying hello to everybody. Ted is here. He says, "Hello, Mr. Thrash. Can't believe 2023." And you jumped off the page. Is over. Here comes 2024. Let's hope 2024 is the year. I'm going to scroll down. A lot of people are having fellowship, chatting amongst each other. That's awesome. But I won't bother to read those out loud. Tug says, "LOL. I love that that is your question." Well, a question, but yes. Keith says 0 for 10. Gary Cameron says, "Happy New Year, everyone." Oh, and by the way, as we were talking about earlier, Tug, yes, Poseidon Adventure counts as a huge New Year's Eve movie. Happy New Year. Darrell Johnson is here. He says, "Bob." Darrell, other brother, how you doing? Gary Carpenter is here. He says, "Happy New Year, everyone," with a bouquet. Happy New Year to you too, Gary. So glad you could make it. Daryl Johnson says, "Trivia, how about Doc Hollywood?" running joke. Scott in, or Das Gimp as we call him here in the chat, we were talking about Doc Holliday because we were talking westerns, and he kept mentioning him as uh, Doc Hollywood. Tom is here. Oh my God, Tom! I was just thinking about you. Well, as you already know, it was your sister's birthday a couple days ago, guys. This is Tom. Possibly my oldest living friend. Not to put it in the creepy sort of way. I've known him for 45 years, has it been? Call it late 70s. But anyway, he's here. He says, "Hey, everybody. Tom, I'm so glad you could make it. Hopefully, Tree will stop by too. You know, it's this is going to sound so silly. Night before last, probably because I was talking to Tree on her birthday. Night before last, I had a dream about one of our hangouts, the old place you lived in West Yarmouth. I still sometimes go by that old house. So many fun memories, guys. We used to have crazy sleepovers at Tom's house when we were young, and some crazy ones at mine too. But his house is more conducive to sleepovers. Anyway, moving forward. Tom, so glad you could make it, and happy New Year to you as well. Oh, and also to Mrs. Marcy, of course. And let's just see. Boy, I've been so busy pontificating. I'm actually way behind. Oh, not too far. I'll skip through a lot of people saying hey to one another. Everyone's doing the whole the Waltons thing. Hey John Boy, hey Liz girl. Gary does say R.I.P. To Tommy Smothers. That one really broke my heart. Can you imagine what his brother's going through right now? Very, very sad. Oh, my flock is everywhere is here. Sister Sarah, how you doing? She says hi, Pawns. And Denny Stanton says greetings from South Carolina. And greetings to you too. So glad you could make it. John Doe is here. Says, "I'm here. Don't know if I'm staying." John, please stay as long as you can. It's so nice having you with us. Stay as long as you can. Happy New Year if you gotta go. But I'm so glad you could make it. And please stick around as long as you possibly can. But again, Happy New Year. Just gonna a lot of people talking to one another, saying hello. Denny says, "I'll be in and out. Got a lot going on. More than understand." Dan, you're the hardest working guy on YouTube. Um, Tom says, "Happy New Year." Denny says, "Happy New Year." My Flex says, "Pawns, Happy New Year to you and everyone too. Thank you." Oh, Denny's dropping links. Everybody, pick up all Denny's links, by the way. He gives links not only to his other channels, but channels of other supporters. Sarah, Mystery Men and Monsters. In fact, if you have a channel you want other people in my fellowship to join, let Denny know and he'll give a link to your channel as well. Tug, of course. Oh, and Tem is here. It says, "So sad about the passing of Tommy Smothers. Not a good way to end the year." Been a lot of heavy casualties this year, Teb. A lot of heavy casualties. Um, and oh yes, of course. Tug says R.I.P. Tom Wilkinson. I know. Apparently, Mrs. Thrash was a fan of Tom Wilkinson. He was in a movie. I forget the title. He was in a movie with George Clooney, and she has a crush on George Clooney. So apparently, she became a fan on his through that. Oh, Gary says I'm buffering. I'm so sorry if I'm buffering to you and anyone else that he's buffering. Len says, sorry, Tug. Had a mess to clean up here in my building. No, we understand. It was so nice of you to drop in, though. Justin says, I like how it goes to 75% speed when Gene Hackman falls from the hatch door at the end. That whole scene. That whole is just an amazing scene. And I'm gonna just scroll down. Superplex is here. He says, "Happy New Year, Superplex. So glad you could make it. Happy New Year to you as well." Oh, and Sarah says, "Giggle." I love it. That's her response to everything. Giggle. And oh, I just jumped here again. So, oh yeah. Chan says, loved your T Zone episode reviews to Tug. They're amazing, by the way. Oh, Tom, remember how one of our favorites was The Monsters Are Due Down Maple Street? Tug actually reviewed that one today. In fact, didn't you give me that as a birthday present when we were in high school? You gave me a couple of books of Twilight Zone episodes, and I think one of them was Maple Street. Well, thank you again. And Tab says, rest in peace to the legendary British actor Tom Wilkinson, who died at the age of 75. Yes, thank you very, very much. Rest in peace, Mr. Wilkinson. And Gary Carpenter says to Pod Blast, a number of emojis and a number of emojis back to you as well. Oh, Dan says, what was the one hit wonder answer? You're going to kick yourself. There's got to be a morning after. If we can hold out till the dawn, we'll find a chance to find sunlight, something. I don't know. That's what I'm going to subject you to, but yes. The morning. Oh, everyone's a critic. Mama Thrash is in the foyer laughing at me. Oh, by the way, Standing on a Landing is a great song title, by the way. But yeah, she's laughing at my hideous rendition. And this is the woman who said I could sing when I was 12 years old. Oh, okay, that's part of the issues. I don't know the words either. Well, who does? Anyway, oh, my flag's giving us a link. Thank you very much. Tim says, "What's your favorite news story of 2023?" There are no good news stories of 2023. And you know this channel, I try to keep it light and positive and happy. So I'm just going to say my favorite news story of 2023 is Welcome 2024. Let's just see what else we got going on here. Oh, chances Happy New Year to all. Oh, there's my pontification again. I fell behind. Well, I'm gonna catch up. Retro Nerd Girl is here. He says, "Good evening, Ken Wilkinson." Retro Nerd Girl, so great to see you. So glad that you are here. Did we reschedule the Fifth Element today? By the way, I couldn't find it. But anyway, we don't necessarily have to do the fifth on the fifth at 5. We can do it whenever you're ready. But so glad you could make it. Tom says a classic for sure. Gary Carpenter says Rudolph's Shiny New Year. Ken Wilkinson or Christopher Wilkinson is here, I should say. Good evening, Retro Nerd Girl. And Lance put Tom was in Rush Hour. Thank you. And Chen says my flack has not seen the Poseidon yet. You haven't seen the Poseidon Adventure? Oh, you got it. It's an amazing film. Let's just see. Gary says, "Happy New Year, Mrs. T." No, that's Mama Thrash was the one I was talking to. My mother. Mrs. Thrash is, I believe, taking a nap. She's not sure. She has to work early tomorrow morning, so she's not sure if she's even gonna watch the ball drop. Oh, and Ken says, sorry, Christopher Wilkinson says, good evening, Bob. Good evening to you too. So anyway, she's having a little bit of a lie down, as they say. Keithy says, my fraternity brother, Cale Yarborough, died. Rest in peace, Cale Yarborough. Keith, I am so sorry, Keith. It's always sad when we lose an old friend. John Doe says, "Have you seen Godzilla minus one yet?" John, I never, ever, ever, ever get to theaters anymore. In fact, funny you asked though. The last film I saw in the theaters, it was in the Dennis Playhouse, and it was a retro release of King Ghidorah. Ghidorah. You say Ghidorah, and I say Ghidorah. You say Hedira, and I say Hedora. But to answer your question, I have not seen minus one yet. I've heard nothing. I've heard nothing but good things about it. So, John, hopefully soon. Hopefully sometime next year. Richard Nurgle says, "Happy New Year, Thresh. You are truly amazing." No, RNG, you are truly amazing. I do what I can to live up to you and Dave and Tug and Dan and countless others. You guys set the bar. I just do what I can. So, RNG, praise from Seether. Thank you very, very much. You made my year. In fact, I got to tell you something. When I have to think about what I'm grateful for this past year, my health, what's left of it, and the fact that my family is still all with me. And after that, it's you guys. This fellowship really gets me through the week. It really does. And all right. I think I've caught up going that way. Um, um, yes, favorite news story of 2023. So I think I'm good there. So if I miss anyone's comments, please forgive me. But I'm going to try to go back to now the bottom of the comment page. Oh, um, uh, and but I don't wanna miss anyone's comments. I'm gonna. Oh, hey, Mrs. Thrash, there we go. RNG says thank you to Denny Staten for the link to her channel. And Teb says Gypsy Rose Blanchard was released from prison a few days ago. If you don't know anything about her, I saw some article. I saw some article about that. Thank you for letting me know. Denny's giving us another link. Gary Cameron says Thrash. You're no Frank Sinatra. I'm no Frank Costello. Best I can do on such short notice. Dan says COVID was under control during 2023. That's one thing that was a plus. Yes, we could almost say post COVID uh, period and mean it at this point, almost. And again, if I miss anyone's comments, please forgive me. As I said, I was pontificating. Tug says, Tab, I knew nothing about that until today and fell into a Google rabbit hole learning about it. Ken Wilkinson says that Gary. Retro says, yes, I rescheduled the watch party for tomorrow. Oh, for tomorrow. Excellent. Unfortunately, I have to work tomorrow. We never open on New Year's Day. We never open on Mondays. And they've decided to, because we're going to be closing for the month of January, they decided, I guess, basically to sell out the inventory. We're going to be open tomorrow. And my boss was desperate. So I'm actually working the floor tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll make a few buckaroos. And Gary says, goodbye, 2023. Hello, 2024. Tug says, it's impressive that she can sleep through your crooning. She limited to sleep with my snoring. That was a huge step. Tom says, I actually have the Poseidon Adventure theme song in my playlist. No kidding. I believe you. I believe you. You used to make some great mixtapes back in the day. So a playlist is just a mixtape that doesn't require, hard media. And chances, oh, hey to Danny and how great he is. Gary Cameron says, don't forget the Towering Inferno. How could I? Pablo says, I felt Godzilla was really good, but a bit overrated. I have to reserve judgment until I can actually get to see it. My Flux says, Dan, amazing, definitely. Zubik says, but if Mama Thrash is her name, then she is also Mrs. T. Pons. No, my parents divorced when I was a little bit of a thing. So she now has her maiden name once again. Nice try, though. Oh, Nicholas is here. Says, hi, everyone. Nick, Happy New Year. So glad you could make it. Great to see you. Dominic D is here. Says, hey, Bob. Hey, everyone. Dominic, so glad you are here as well. Happy New Year. Tom says, how did I miss that King Ghidorah showing? You tell me. You're an even bigger geek than I am. No offense. I think you're even closer to the Dennis Playhouse than I am. But yeah, it was this. It was this past. It was right before the summer. It was right before the summer, and well, I saw it, and I, I missed their showing of the Night of the Living Dead, and I'm so disappointed. They insist on putting their best shows on Saturdays, and I always, always, always work Saturdays. And it was Memorial Day weekend, and I couldn't take it off if I wanted to. So I missed getting to see Night of the Living Dead on the big screen again. A lot of people saying Happy New Year and hello to one another. Len says, "Hey, chance do earthquake or towering inferno next." Ooh, that's a good idea. Good call. And I'm gonna skip up. Oh, I just jumped chance off the page. So I'm gonna. Oh, John Doe says Thrash Godzilla -1. It's a very haunting after feel to it. Yeah, I've heard it has that effect. By the way. Oh, Brogu's here. Says hello everyone. Happy New Year and a Happy New Year to you as well, Brogu. So glad you could make it. I'm just skipping back though because Chance said something. I don't want to skip it. Oh, here it is. Um, no spoiler, but there is an Indiana Jones evading a nuclear blast in a refrigerator moment in Godzilla -1. It's in Godzilla -1. Oh, okay. I've seen that footage. I just didn't know. I thought it predated that. Gary says, "What? Cale Yarbrough is dead? I didn't know. He was on the Dukes of Hazard twice. Wow, was he Keith? I did not know that. I did not know that. Well, Gary's bringing up the point. But Keith, are you familiar with his filmography? Texas trying to live up to me. I got most of my regular audience from your streams, Thrash. I got plenty from you too, but thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I've gotten some from RNG, and I've gotten some from the good stuff, and I've gotten some from Danny as well. So again, we have a one hand washing of the other, one could say, a sort of mano a mano in my terrible Spanish. Let's just see. I'm gonna skip down carefully. Nicholas says, "Hi, Thrash Pondo. I think you do a great job, Nick. Don't be such a stranger. It's so nice having you with us again, and I appreciate all your nice comments. And again, thank you for your support and huge props." Sean Innes, oh my God, Sean Innes is here. He says, "Hey all, Happy New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's Eve to you, by the way." Oh, and more people are pouring in, by the way. But I want to make a couple of shout outs to people who aren't here right now. Of course, Cindy D, Lisa Fields, we miss you both terribly, and Miss M, Emily Miller, actually gave you a message saying, unless I run late tonight, which I'm not going to, unless I run late tonight, by the way, she won't be able to make it. I think she's still doing the dash of door tonight. But anyway, Sean, so glad you could make it. Tug says you're a better singer than Frank Stallone, though. Well, thank you. Frank Stallone would have worked better than Frank Costello, but well, let's be frank. And Brogu again, thank you for joining us. My Flock says I got covered this year. I got COVID. I'm sorry, not covered. I got COVID this year. LOL. Oh, that's very very terrible. I'm glad you bounced back, but commiserations. Keith he says RNG is on live at 10 p.m. tonight. It's a countdown show. Oh, that's awesome! Oh my God, that's so cool. That's so cool. And Dominic D says hello to Sean. Oh, and John Doe, I read that comment. So I'm just gonna skip down. I don't miss anyone else. There's a lot of people saying hi to Brogu and one another. Oh, Brogu says, "Hey Thrash, Happy New Year." Gary Cameron says, "John Doe, I have not seen it yet. Only the trailers, and I'm trying to even avoid those. I don't want to ruin the film for me because, well, I don't. I just I want to see it fresh and not knowing really anything about it. Oh, John Doe says, Thresh, did you know today is 123, 123? I did. There's some great memes about that on Facebook. One with the count from Sesame Street. And I love doing the endless waltz bit. And 123, and 123, and 123. Tom, what was the anime that had the reference to the endless waltz? It's killing me. It's blah 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 endless waltz because that's actually where I learned the term. We're up at the three stages of society. There's the breaking down, the rebuilding, and then the breaking down again. Um, Help a brother out here, Tom. Wow, I'm further behind than I thought. I'm gonna skip here. um, I am gonna catch up though if it. Oh no! Well, I'm gonna pin somebody's message by mistake. There. All right, and now I'll undo it. Yeah, I have to cut. Mm, oh, heck with it. There we are. I get these pop-ups, and if I press the wrong thing, I ban somebody. So hopefully I didn't ban anybody. I think I just pinned their comment. Justin says, "How much is the fish special?" 22.99. I want to say. Well, it depends which one. Dominic D says, "Good luck with the New Year's tips at the restaurant. Thank you so much. I don't think we're gonna get much business. All the kids go back to school on Tuesday. Half of Cape Cod is hung over. Everybody's broke. But I'll have to think positively. Maybe a few people just won't feel like cooking." Gary Gerber says, "I will ring my dinner bell at 12 a.m." Lynn says, "RNG, are you on later tonight?" Yeah, I believe she's on at 10 for a countdown party. Keith E says, Z, he's so far beyond. I thought he was on here with Ian. Oh my God, Ian. Oh my, he's on Facebook with me. I've been keeping in touch with him. He seems to be doing okay. He's got a rough patch, but I am far behind. But I will catch up. Indy Spouts is here. Says, "Hey, there, lads and lasses, and hey to you, Indy. It is so awesome to see you." As everyone else thinks as well. Zublik says, "But her name is Thrash for Thrash Pondo Pons. My first name is David, but I don't call my mother Mama David." All right, you raised an excellent point. I call her Mama Thrash instead of like Mama Cass. You get it? It's a play on words, but to each their own. So yes, she would be Mrs. Pons as well. I will defer. And Mrs. Mrs. Sarah has given us another link. Thank you very much. A lot of people saying hello and happy new year to one another. Music, movies, and more with Brian. Oh my God, have you guys been checking out music, movies, and more with Brian? He's been putting out some amazing posts, commemorative post, birthday post for famous celebrities. Great stuff. He says, "Hey Thrash, I hope you are having an amazing New Year's. Now that you're here, I am Danny. A link if you could. Thank you if you haven't already. Oh, and you have dropped a link for something, so thank you for that." And I'm just going to skip down. Len says, "Thank you, Chance. Just some ideas." And he's about says to Tug, "Your daughter doesn't want Lionel Richie." Oh, I'm sorry. Is she in a coma? I didn't know you had a daughter, Tug. I'm thinking that's a reference to something, possibly MST3K. Thank you again, Denny, for the link. Sean says, "Present 365, Keith E." The gift of days, yes, indeed. Justin says, "Same old Lang Syne, Danny Fogelberg." I'm not familiar with his rendition. I do know Dan Fogelberg. I was a kid in the 80s. Lance Chapin says, "Hit that like button." Yes, please do. I got 26 in the chat and 13 likes. We can do better, people. People, we can do better than that. And Tug is familiar. That guy says, "Love that song to Justin." My flock has given us another link. Excellent, excellent. Chance says, "My indie nuke fridge analogy will make sense when you see Godzilla Thresh." I will. Well, I have a funny feeling I know somewhat the connection, but I don't want to spoil it for myself. But I will. I will watch the movie and get back to you ASAP. Zublick says, "Truthfully, I thought Cale Yarborough died a long time ago. Sadly, that happens. My boss actually thought Tommy Smothers had died earlier. Wajimeen, he says, "Hello, everyone." Wajimeen, I love your joke posts. They're just they brighten my day. Thank you for joining us tonight. Happy New Year. And Dan, for those of you who don't have a link to Wajimeen, if you don't already subscribe to him on YouTube, Dan, if you could. Oh, and John Doe says, "Did you know today is 123 123?" I believe I've already read that comment, but it's so it bears repeating. My Flux says, "Pawns, you're epic." Thank you. You're epic as well. Zublik says, "I remember he was racing in the 70s." Oh, really? I did not know that. I did not know that. And Dan has given us a link. Thank you. A lot of people saying hello to Wedge. Mian. Dominic D says Shecky Green passed away. Also, I know. He was 97 years old. My wife was really broken up about that one, and I was surprised. I didn't think he was like her cup of tea, but apparently, yeah, she was broken up. And Zendwayne is here. It says Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. Thank you, Zendwayne. So nice to see. Welcome to the party. Happy New Year's Eve. So glad you could make it. And you're just in time for trivia. We started the trivia in just a few minutes. Sadly, because we've lost so many really amazing celebrities this year, the trivia is going to be trivia questions specifically to celebrities we have lost. And a lot of people saying hello to one another. So I'm gonna not bother to read those out. Gary Cameron says, "Dom, I didn't know that he was gone." Shecky Green, yeah, he just passed away today. Indies Bound says, "Who the dickens is Dan Fogel Burp? Dan Fogelberg. Dan Fogelberg." Mrs. Morris says, "Hey, Lance." Liberal says, "Well, that means we won't be at risk of having to spell cast on us." No, we won't. Um, Teb says, "What's your favorite moment of 2023?" Favorite moment of 2023. I don't know if I have a specific favorite moment. My favorite thing to do in 2023, my favorite time of the day, week, whatever, is having these live chats with you guys. And I'm hoping to have even more in 2024. Tug says there should be good money in DoorDash tonight. Can't blame Emily for taking advantage of it. I can't either. I can't either. I just hope she's safe on the roads. A lot of let's just say I hope she's safe. And thank you, Dan, for the link. And hi, Mrs. Thrash.
Happy New Year.
Oh, she says Happy New Year. Yeah, she's up from her little refreshing nap. And are you feeling refreshed?
Well, since I was taking a shower, yeah.
Oh, apparently she wasn't dozing. Apparently she was taking a shower. So, and you have to pretty much stay up for that. So, yeah, she sounds really refreshed, huh, guys? Let's just see. I got a little behind here, so I'm going to. I'm way behind, but um, oh, here it is. Okay, so Dan's giving us another link and goes, and then a lot of people saying hello to one another. Justin says, "Denny, as long as I don't have to acknowledge Roman Reigns." And Keithy says, "Z used to give tickets to the races to the fraternity brothers, and I'm actually pretty sure is today he died." Oh, again, sorry that for Cale Yarborough, your friend. That was very nice of you to give tickets. Oh, and Mr. Lid says, "Hey, Thrash, Mr. Lid, so glad you could make it. How you feeling, buddy? Happy New Year. So glad you could join us." Zende says, "Came in late, was watching the game on NFL Red Zone." Hey, how about those Pats this year, huh? And there's always next year. I said that many, many times growing up. And I'm racing down. Danny, thanks for another link. Linda James says, "RNG, you still here?" I believe she is. I just haven't gotten to her comments. Zublik says, "Guessing Oh, not questioning your announcement, Keith. I just thought Cale Yarborough died a while ago. Am astonished he was still alive. Oh, I see. We were confirming that he did die today. Thank you, Keith. And Keith says, and any Danny fans, he needs to tell us what happened to those balls in his yard. Oh yes, strange happenings in Danny Staten's yards. And just give us a link. And yeah, RNG is here, and she says, "Yep." And Tom says that was the Gundam series. The Gundam series was Endless Waltz. That doesn't. I will never challenge you. That does. I would have just so you know, I would have never guessed that. Brian says, "Happy New Year to all of you." Thank you, Brian. John Doe says, I might go see the Polar Bear Club swim in the morning here at Coney Island in Brooklyn. We have that up here too, by the way. I think they call themselves something different, but yeah, there are a bunch of men my age and older who wait for it to get really, really, really cold in the Cape Cod Bay, which is already cold because Nantucket Sound in the south gets the warm water, but the Cape Cod Bay, that's the water that comes down from Canada, and it gets, I mean, really, 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 really cold, and they wait for it to get like below freezing, and they dive in and pray for the great whites to get them. So I might go see that myself, actually. And but it sounds fun. And I'm gonna skip through a lot of people saying hello to one another. My vlog says a lot of little emojis here. Share out and comment after the show, please and thank you. We certainly will. Tug says, I think that's actually the '90s American Zilla asking about the fish special. Don't give him any. Oh, Columbia TriStar. Oh, yeah, that's right. Where they get the fish sent on them, and all the baby Godzillas go after them, and the French special forces fight them off. And such a terrible movie. Remember, we actually went to Boston to see it early to review it for the film. Uh, uh, my TV. My TV, my local access TV film review show, and being just monumentally disappointed, except for Jean Reno. Jean Reno stole the movie. Like he takes a sip of his coffee, goes, "What's that?" And they called it French roast. Or when he chews the gum to look more American. Jean Reno was the only good thing in that movie, as far as um, comic relief and that type of thing. Oh no, I can't say that. Frank Azaria was pretty funny too. But if they just hadn't called that movie Godzilla, if they had called it Big Iguana Eats New York, I could have had so much fun with it. They called it Godzilla, and it wasn't Godzilla. It was a big iguana which ate New York, and so well, it, you know what? I call it Jurassic Park 3 because between them being chased by the baby Godzillas and being fighting the big Godzilla, it just kind of reminded me of a Jurassic Park homage. But yes, this one says went to see Godzilla with my daughter. We both loved it. Oh, excellent, excellent. Keithy says Z. No, I understand it's possible. It's wrong. Anything is possible. I'm not sure. Oh, I'm not that sensitive. It's okay. And Daryl John says, how about Mama Pons? Um, Mama Pons works too, but I remember it's Mama Thrash like Mama Cass. Let's just see what else we got going on here. Brogan says, hi, Mr. Led. Godzilla Minus One was a great movie. John Doe says, Thresh, would you join the Polar Bear Club? Ooh, no, 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 no. No, no, no. I am impervious to cold as a rule, but cold water, tell you a story. When I was much, 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 much younger, I went with this hiking group. We went camping up in Maine. Time of my life. Maine is one of the most beautiful states in the entire country. Went at the perfect time to go. It was beautiful. Had an amazing time. But we were camping along this mountain stream, and my friends talked me into diving in, and it was like 10,000 little cold needles all jabbing you at once, and that's just a mountain stream. That's not real like ice ocean water. So I could tell from then that really cold water wasn't my thing. Oh, and then when I was in college, as a fraternity ritual, we had an ice bath. I didn't like that either. So yeah, no, John, I don't think I'm up to it. Oh, and Tom says he loved -1. I gotta see this movie. Zublik says he was younger than I thought. Oh, Mr. Yarbrough. Gary Carpenter says, Keithy, I didn't even know he'd been sick. Watchman says, thanks, Thrash. Tug says, if you're going on the record, I think -1 is possibly the best Godzilla movie since the Showa era. Wow. Pretty big boots to fill. But yes, like I said, I've got to see it. Justin says, if you are from the UK, today is 311223 because well, actually, we invert the date and month. They do it properly. But yeah, but I like 123123. Gary says, I'm sorry, Keith says, Gary, I haven't talked to him in 30 years. He's been pretty much off the net. And I'm almost caught up, but Tug just jumped, so I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna race through these comments because it's after 8 and I'm way behind, and we've got to do trivia. So, uh, wow, I'm sorry. I'm further behind than I thought. You guys are amazing. You guys really are. The amount of effort that you put. Oh, Jay Z got here at some point. Said my girlfriend is being cool these days. Thank you for fixing things, Thrash Pondo. My advice worked. I can't tell you how much that means, Jay. Thank you. I'm very glad you and your girlfriend are cool and having a good rest of the year. And hopefully, we'll have an excellent 2024. But, Jay Z, thank you very much. Glad I could be of service. And I'm sure your girlfriend is a lovely, lovely girl. And that you folks should be very happy together. And Tug says, Happy New Year's, Mrs. Thrash. I can't leave that out. And Lynn says 2023, the best thing is here with Thrash and crew. Lance, thank you, my man. You are amazing. You're one of my strongest supporters, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. Oh, Chance also says happy New Year's to Mrs. Thrash, as it does Zuper. And Dominic, you guys are so kind to my Mrs. Hey, Jay Z, maybe someday you will have a Mrs. Jay Z and be this young lady girlfriend. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, okay, dude? And Brian also says as well, and I've cut to Jay Z where he says his girlfriend has been very cool. Cool. It's cool that she's cool. And Sean says, "Oh, we hear the voice of Mrs. Thrash. Happy New Year's, Mrs. Thrash. Yes, she'll always be off camera, but Happy New Year to my dear. Yes, her voice does travel. Yeah, in a good way, my dear. In a good way, in a positive way, in a healthy, non-threatening kind of way. And let's just see what else we got on here. Keith says faster, Thrash is catching up. And Denny says, Pawns, I just sent you a text. Man, when you get a second, I will check it as soon as I'm not already with you. Thank you. And let's just see. And Pablo says, Has anyone else eat black eyed peas on New Year's Day for good luck? No, I might start tomorrow. Oh, and cornbread too. Is this a Georgia thing? It sounds like a Georgia thing. I do love me some cornbread though. Tuck says, You got that right, Keith. We need comment more. Um so I can't catch up. Oh, ever had hush puppies? I love hush puppies. It's the worst thing in the world for you, but I love hush puppies. Oh, and he does say it's southern stuff. Keithy says, "Well, I'm from the south, southern New England." Keithy says, "I worked in the restaurant bar business tonight. Was called amateur write out. Wow, they called you an amateur? I can't see it was an amateur anything." Dominic says, I'm a Mets fan. I say maybe next year, particularly every year. Yep. Did the same thing with the Red Sox. Next year is the year. Next year is the year. Lynn says, don't like black eyed peas. But the group, yes, please. Well said. Well said. Fergie was hot. And chances, okay, haha, Lance, good one. And a lot of people giving thumbs up to Pod Blast. Brogu, thank you. Dribblick says, well, at least they are better than Emily's Panthers. I used to have a Panthers jacket actually. Families from North Carolina. Let's just see. Here comes says black eyed peas. Yuck. Tug says the wife ordered pizza while I was streaming. She wasn't willing to wait for me to make dinner, and honestly, I'm glad. David is here. Dave says hi. Dave, so glad you could make it, my friend. Welcome to the party. Happy New Year. Shana says Dominic D. Mets fans. I'm sorry. Genetically, I'm a Giants fan. It's been a rough last few years. I'm Dust Gimp is here. Scott says, "What's up, yo?" Scott, so glad you could make it. So glad you could make it. Welcome to the party. I'm just gonna skim down real fast. John Doe says, I call the 97 Godzilla the Jay Leno Zilla because it's big ass chin. And he says it's Hank Azaria Thrash. Did I not say Hank Azaria? I'm sorry. I know it's Hank Azaria. If I got his first name wrong, I do apologize. Been a fan of his since Herman's Head, and of course he did all those voices on The Simpsons. Gary Cameron says, Pablo, would you say that if your father had to force feed them on uh, you as a baby? Ugh. My father had a. I was always a finicky eater when I was a kid, and my father had very well. He learned patience, but he was never crazy about it. He used to try to widen my parameters. Oh, and Retro Nerd Girl saying to Liz, see you later. Retro Nerd Girl, if you got to scoot more than understand, you're a very, 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 very busy young lady. Good luck with your countdown party tonight. I'll try to stop it. I can't make any promises. I should at some point try to see my wife tonight. Not to mention my mother, but either way, I'll try to make an appearance. If I don't, Happy New Year, and I'm so 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 glad you came by today. Peace. Take care. Oh, Big Guy 45 is here. He says, Happy New Year. Big Guy, so glad you could make it. Tim says, which anthology series do you prefer much better? Night Gary, Love American Style, Police Story, Insight, Love Boat, or Fantasy Island? Definitely Night Gallery. Definitely Night Gallery. Not familiar with Insight. Did like Police Story. Love American Style. And Love Boat and Fantasy Island were good as well. Keithy says, okay, it's 8:03 time for trivia. And that was 9 minutes ago. Let me just catch up, and I promise I will. Um, David says, the one with Matthew Broderick. Yes, the Columbia TriStar Zilla starred Matthew Broderick. Also, Jean Reno, though he's the breakthrough star in that film. I always thought he really really stole that movie. And Dan says, trivia time! And yes, it certainly is. And Big Guy says, crazy, it's gone by this fast already. I know. Well, it's because you guys are so interactive tonight. Dan has given us another link. Uh, Tom said something, but I lost him. Wow, am I behind? Oh, he said, yes, the real deal. I was just reminiscing with Sean about all of the other day. About that. Oh, I'm sorry. About all of that the other day. We still have a blast with that premiere. Do you know I still have a tape of those episodes. I have a tape of some episodes. It's on the same tape as all our old $1.98 films. And yes, I still watch them. And Scott says, sorry, Eric, I didn't know how to quit your thrash. Well, you can't quit me, that's for darn sure. Police Story was a good show, Dominic D says. And Dave says, cheap lobster. I'm going to skip through really quickly. Mr. Lynn says, hey, Sean, try being a Pittsburgh Pirates fan. Oh, yes, they do have cheap lobster in Maine, David. Nicholas says, Thrash Bundo, have you seen either the new Aquaman or Color Purple movies? What do you think? I never get to the theaters anymore, so no, I haven't seen either one. But when I do, I will definitely let you know. Ziplik says, what did Jim Gaffigan said about lobster? You had to spend so much time breaking the shell just to extract a morsel of meat that tastes like rubber. I always thought lobster tastes like rubber. One year, my crazy aunt served lobster mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving, but didn't tell anyone. And I kept thinking they had gone bad, but I was like, just eat them, just they're fine, they're fine. And finally, I bit into something that tastes like rubber, and I go, "What's wrong with these mashed potatoes? Are they off?" And mine said they're lobster mashed potatoes, and I'm like, I don't love lobster. Why don't you tell me? She's like, "Well, I figured you wouldn't notice." Good thing I don't have a shellfish allergy, huh? Keith says, like me, Thrash as well insulated from the cold. And Brogu says, see you later, guys. Getting ready to go out tonight with the family. Bye. Oh, Brogu, you're probably already gone. But Brogu, thank you so much for stopping by. Been a pleasure. Happy New Year. We'll see you really soon. Indy Spout says, Thrash is in a bind. He's way behind and he's willing to make a deal. Oh, we're going to do the double one down to Georgia. Love it. Love it. Love the reference. And in fact, yes, you know what? I'm just going to like roll through. Oh, Mike and Kathy are here. Says Happy New Year, old Mike and Kathy. Awesome. You're just in time for the trivia game. I'm gonna scroll down just to welcome anybody who got here late. And if I miss any of your comments, please feel free to repeat them after the trivia. Because House Alex is here, and he says hi. What do you mean? Oh, and Bobby Renee is here, and he says thank you. I'm not sure who said thank you to. I must have missed your earlier comment, but Bobby Renee, so glad you could make it. Happy New Year, House of Alex. Happy New Year as well. Glad you could make it. Yeah, I had to skip through because we have to start the trivia. It's after quarter past, and Tom says, "Mutants of the Ice Waste, your finest performance." Thank you, thank you. And didn't I? Isn't that the one where I smashed your hand with a chain and it ached for like days? I still apologize about that. And let's just see. Oh, we should really post those sometime. Would you guys like to see old crazy 8 millimeter movies of me as a teenager making a fool of myself in these very short, silent, post apocalyptic sci-fi farces? If you would enter the comments below. But before that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore all of you, and I apologize. You guys are great. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to go through and read some of these in replay. I always watch myself in replay because I'm a narcissist. And I love the sound of my own voice, even though it's cracking. But oh wow, already getting some yeses there. But if I miss any of your comments, I'll try to let you know in the uh replay comments. 8:17. Yes, Keith, I know what time it is. So thank you. I think I got it. So again, these are going to be questions relating to celebrities who lost in 2023. And as always, I'm going to give them to you in no particular order. Number 10. Paul Rubens conceptualized his signature Pee Wee Herman character with this other late great master comedian. And I'm so thrilled. Look at all those yeses. I'm sorry. I'll get to the answers in just a second. But thank you for all of you people who would like to see me make a fool of myself as a teenager. Thank you. The selections are A. Phil Hartman, B. John Candy, C. Sam Kinison, or D. Richard Pryor. And Melissa, Mr. Led said, not quite that far, Sean. We had Barry Bonds for a while, and Andrew McCutcheon. Years were good, but it's probably been 10 years more since. Heavens. Oh, Subi Sales. Gosh, I'm dying. Hold on one second. I'm stealing a bottle of Mrs. Thrash's water. Thank you. And and he says, if you show them, don't let me miss it. Of course I won't. Justin says that's the easiest question ever on the show. I decided for the year end, people said my questions have been too hard. So I decided for once I'm going to make them comparatively easy. Jay-Z says, Thrash, Pondo needs to wear a Baby New Year costume. Well, I was Santa once. Baby New Year would be easy after that. But I'm going to repeat the question, even though it was easy. Paul Rubens conceptualized his signature Pee Wee Herman character with this other late great master comedian: A. Phil Hartman, B. John Candy, C. Sam Kinison, or D. Richard Pryor. And House of Alex, I think, is giving a ironic answer. As Mike and Kathy say, Q. Oh no, Q is a character on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Oh, Sean says, growing up, we ran our 8 millimeter family movies once a year. Great time. And he says, I know Phil Hartman was in the Groundlings with Paul. I picked him. And Danny's given us a link. And guess what? Indy, you are correct. So anybody who said A, yes, it was Phil Hartman. Phil Hartman actually also played Captain Carl in the special and the TV series. They had some kind of falling out, I think, over creative differences. But yes, Phil Hartman. Whoopi Goldberg? No. She was in The Color Purple, the original. Number 9. Ooh, this is a good one. And it's those of you who saw my live special on him might remember this. Tommy Smothers had a long time feud with this notorious Hollywood celebrity. A. Johnny Carson, B. Joan Rivers, C. Bill Cosby, or D. John Wayne Pilgrim. I shall repeat. Tommy Smothers had a long time feud with this notorious Hollywood celebrity. A. Johnny Carson, B. Joan Rivers, C. Bill Cosby, or D. John Wayne. I'm going to let some more answers pour in. Yeah, apparently a lot of you didn't see my live special on Tommy Smothers. Again, there. Oh, Prince. No. Prince would have been a kid when the Smothers brothers were at their peak. But Dan says E, his mom, because mom always did like the brother best. Um, that's a good one. But no, remember, the mom wasn't a Hollywood celebrity. I feel so bad for her. Actually, in reality, when I was doing some cursory research for my live chat, um, their father died when Tommy was 8. He was in a Japanese prison camp. He died in 1945. The end was like around the corner, and he just didn't make it. So they were raised by their mom. And I'm going to read Tom. Tom says Cosby mentions it on at last one of his albums. Oh, on I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my glasses. Cosby mentions it on at least one of his albums. And yes, Tom, you are correct. Tommy had a long-going feud with Bill Cosby to the point where for years, Tom tried to make the thing go away. If they were in the same studio working on a project or this or that, Tom would try to say, "Oh, hi, Bill," like, you don't know hard feelings. And Bill would not only never shake his hand, he would never actually even look them in the face again. So, yeah. And apparently it was over something. Cosby never, ever, ever wanted to do any type of political or controversial humor. His controversy came much later. But as a comedian in the 60s, he would never do hot topics like some of the comedians were. And Tommy kind of urged him to take a stand on some of the ongoing topics at the time. And when Cosby wouldn't, I guess it got a little heated. But yes. And he says, cursory research should be the name of your channel, Thresh. You know what? It probably should. It probably should. Pondo's cursory research. There's a nice ring to that. But anyway, Bill Cosby is the answer. Dan says it was because of his pudding pops. Um, Tommy did commercials for foods. Did he do pudding pops too? I know he did a series of commercials. There's a local supermarket chain up here called Star Market. It's part of Shaw's. But anyway, he did commercials for them for a while too. But not to get off the mark. Number 8. In an acting credit, Jimmy Buffett plays a government agent type in this 80s sci-fi sleeper masterpiece. Is it A, Brother from Another Planet, B. Repo Man, C. Hangar 18, or D. Blade Runner? And again, if you pay attention to my filmography, you probably get the right answer just from listening to what my movies I talk about are. But anyway, I will read it again. In an acting credit, Jimmy Buffett plays a government agent type in this 80s sci fi sleeper masterpiece. A. Brother from Another Planet. B. Repo Man. C. Hangar 18. Or D. Blade Runner. Ooh, Dave, I love Margarita Man. I wish there was a movie called Margarita Man. Gary Carpenter says my uncle, who was 7 years older than me, his dad died a few months before he was born, and my grandma had to raise five kids, two girls and three boys. Terribly sorry. Very, very sad. Very sad. I'm very sorry for your uncle's loss. Oh, Melissa Foster's here. Says hi, Thrash, Pondo, and everyone tonight. Melissa, thank you so much for joining us. You missed the first two trivia questions, but you're welcome to watch those in replay and play along from 8 down. And I'm going to repeat the question just for your behalf. In an acting credit, Jimmy Buffett plays a government agent type in this 80s sleeper, in this 80s sci-fi sleeper masterpiece. Is it A, Brother from Another Planet, B, Repo Man, C, Hangar 18, or D, Blade Runner? Give you another minute. I've seen a couple people guessed A. Great movie, but no. And I saw a couple people guess D. But no, the correct Repo Man. Repo Man. He plays one of the men in black. The one who's trying to regain the alien bodies from Parnell. From Parnell. My mind was literally bursting. Number 7. In the 80s, Tina Turner did a duet with this famous musician. Was it A, Michael Jackson, B, Bryan Adams, C, Weird Al, or D, John Mellencamp? And I shall repeat. Yes, Dominic D. Michael Nesmith, again, R.I.P. He produced Repo Man. I believe also no Frank Zappa was alive. Didn't Frank Zappa have something to do with it? Didn't he get a production credit or something? But in any event, question 7 again. In the 80s, Tina Turner did a duet with this famous musician: A, Michael Jackson, B, Bryan Adams, C, Weird Al, or D, John Mellencamp. And I see a few people making educated guesses. Tape says Fred Flintstone. A yabba dabba do time. A yabba dabba do time. What was the song? Oh, we used to sing it. Listen to him rock, listen to him roll, listen to him rock. Although my all-time favorite Flintstones music number was he said yeah, 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 she said yeah, 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 they said yeah, yeah, yeah. Eee! First, I wanted that as a ringtone for the longest time. Would have driven Mrs. Thrash insane. That alone would have made it worth it. But for some reason, as a kid, that always struck me funny. It was one of those things that it actually got even funnier as I became an adult. But anyway, I shall not keep you in suspenders. The correct answer is B, Bryan Adams. And a lot of people got the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Good guess, but wrong. Number 6, mega athlete / entertainer Jim Brown made the transition from football into acting. However, what NFL franchise did he play for in his football career? Was it A, the New England Patriots, B, the Cleveland Browns, C, the LA Rams, or D, the Cincinnati Bengals? And I bet you never, ever thought you'd see a sports question in one of my trivia games. But I should. Wow, what answer wrong? Oh, Tom the Rock and Robin. Yes, indeed. Uh, oh, and Duskin said, "I always loved Eep Opt Orc Ah." They actually did a rendition of that later on in another Hanna Barbera cartoon, Yogi's Space Aces or something like that. But they did that same song. I met a little man from outer space. I asked him why he spoke that way. He said it's all he learned to say. But I should repeat: mega athlete slash entertainer Jim Brown made the transition from football into acting. However, what NFL franchise did he play for? A, the New England Patriots, B, the Cleveland Browns, C, the LA Rams, or D, the Cincinnati Bengals. Tracy is here. Oh my God, Tracy says hi, guys. Tracy's so glad you could make it. Oh, and there's a few other ladies who could. Mandy Butler, who has been one of my biggest cheerleaders, and in fact, I want more of you to watch these. I am very proud of these Fargo retrospects I'm doing. And if you say, "Well, I haven't watched the show," watch the show because it's a good show. Watch the show and then watch my retrospects, or not. It's a free country. But Mandy Butler's become one of my biggest fans on these, and I want to thank you, Mandy. Sorry you couldn't make it tonight. Also, Music Girl 67. I've been seeing a lot of you on Facebook and some of my posts on YouTube. You couldn't make it tonight. Happy New Year to both of you guys. And yes, it was the Cleveland Browns. Jim Brown played for the Browns. Synchronicity there, huh, guys? And how about some scores? How about some scores? Let's see. A lot of people saying hi to Tracy. Danny giving us another link. All very, very important stuff. But let's see. Before we go into five, I'd like to see some scores. Scott says only played for 9 years. The fact that he could make it onto a team is a pretty big deal. But yes, he's one of those people. I think he did better as an actor than he did as a football player. And it's so funny. A lot of football players try to make it in acting, and let's just say there were varying degrees of success. I thought he did very well though. Loved him. I loved him in The Dirty Dozen. Wajamin is 4 for 5. Sean Innes is 4 for 4. Oh, you missed question 10. Oh, you know what? I'll give it to you. Gary Cameron says Sean didn't see you there. Melissa saying hi to Tracy. Tab is 5 for 5. Dust Gimp is it? No, he could have played for more. It was shocking he left. Um, I'll buy that. Again. I'm not a huge sports fan, but I'll buy that. But he probably made more money in acting and had less uh, chance of getting hit a lot. Dave is 0 for 5. Sorry, Dave. But the fact you're still playing with us is a monument. Um, have at it, Jack. Gary Carpenter is 5 for 5. Scott is 1 for 5. Melissa is 3 for 5. Eddie Spouts is 5 for 5. And yet Alfred Packer never played for the Packers. Now that's how you work in a cannibal joke. The sky is blue and all the leaves are green. My heart is big as a baked potato. I bet you didn't think I'd come up with that on the spur of the moment. Miss Lynn says Brown is in the Hall of Fame. I actually knew that. Dominic D is 5 for 5. Nicholas is Jim Brown also did a Western with Richard Pryor. Okay. Are you talking Blazing Saddles? Was Jim Brown in that? Or did Richard Pryor do another Western I was not aware of off the top of my head? Either way, let me know in the comments below. Gary Carpenter says The Rock is a better actor than a wrestler. Even he talked about that. Well, what his biggest problem was? And Danny, I'm sure you already know this. He wanted to be the good guy. He wanted to be the regular that regular. He wanted to be the wrestler that everybody loved. And the problem is they don't. The wrestlers that everybody loves are the wrestlers that people hate. So he ended up having to be a bad guy and was playing against type. I must have told you guys this. I saw his father wrestle in the Cape Cod Coliseum when I was like a teenager. Rocky Johnson. He had a finishing move that was great. He would kind of go into this gentleman gym boxing routine and just kind of go bam, bam, bam. And then when the guy was all like, then he would pin him. But yeah, I actually saw his father wrestle. Cindy D is here. Says hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Cindy, we were just talking about you. I was saying hello and Happy New Year in your absentia. but now that you're here, I can say in absentia to your face. Um, oh, I believe it's called 100 Rifles. There's a bell ringing in my head now. I can't place it. I'm not sure I've even seen it. I may have just heard about it, but or if I did, I saw it years ago, and well, my memories are what it used to be. But I will definitely check it. Thank you. With Richard Pryor, really. Gary Cameron says, Justin, I wonder what Lucille Ball would say about that. He was on her show, the Lucy Show. I missed what that is in reference to, so I'll take your word for it. Yeah, Justin, the Rock was in the 20 million club, I believe. Um, Indy Spout says Richard Pryor was not in Bleeding Saddles. No, no, he was not in it, but he wrote it. He wrote it. He was supposed to star in it, but in the last minute, um, they decided to go with Cleavon Little because they wanted someone a little less recognizable. But for some reason, I had Blazing Saddles stuck in my head as the Western project he was speaking of. But you're right, he was not on camera. He did write the screenplay and wrote it for himself. Oh, Cindy says my ears were burning. Oh, Dave says, Mrs. Brown, you've got a lovely daughter. Gals as sharp as something red. God, it's sad. I'm gonna get shut down if I keep singing songs, even with my terrible voice. Wouldn't that be irony? And Melissa says, "Happy New Year, to everyone tonight." Thank you. And Tuskim says that is awesome. Thrash Pondo, thank you, thank you. And Sean says Richard Pryor was supposed to be in Blazing Saddles. Um, doesn't he have a but oh yeah, yeah, Sean. That's what I was thinking. Like whenever I think of Blazing Saddles, I think of it as a Richard Pryor film, even though he was not on camera. But I thought James Brown may have been one of the dudes in the uh, railroad group. And Gary Cameron says Andre the Giant was great in The Princess Bride and The $6 Million Man. He was a pretty decent actor. Oh, and Danny's given us another link. Thank you very much. And Indy Spout says no, the Brown Pryor film was Adonis Amigos, not 100 Rifles. Well, I definitely haven't heard of that. So now I feel better that I I definitely was not familiar with it. And Justin says, I'm Henry the Eighth, I am. Henry the Eighth, I am. All got mad to the. I used to have, it was a bust of Henry the Eighth, and it sang that song. And it was the coolest thing. Guess who got it for me? Yep, you guessed right. Mrs. Thrash. Sally just sort of disintegrated. I don't know why, but it was very cool. And Levin said, oh, hello. Oh, Steve, so glad you can make it. You're just in time for the second part of the trivia. And Dan has given us another link. And Dan, the breaking news man, says Gary wasn't under the giant, the Bigfoot in the $6 million man. He certainly was. He certainly was. Oh, and Christopher saying hi to Tracy. And now I'm going to pick up with question 5. And if you don't get this one, Susan Summers parlayed a small role in this film into a breakthrough character. Was it A, Hollywood Nights, B, The Last Picture Show, C, Badlands, or D, American Graffiti? Oh, and Sean said there were 2 Bigfoots. Ted Cassidy was the other one. Thank you. And I shall repeat. Suzanne Summers parlayed a small role in this film into a breakthrough character. Was it A, Hollywood Nights, B, The Last Picture Show, C, Badlands, or D, water's coming back to haunt me, American Graffiti? Gary Cameron says, Dan, yes, the first time around, then Ted Cassidy took over the second time. Excellent. And man, you guys are all over this one. Justin said she was also in a horrible movie where ants attacked a hotel. Oh, yes, yes. It was a made for TV movie, wasn't it? Or am I confusing two? I believe it was a made for TV movie. I believe. At the risk of being redundant. But yes, it was American Graffiti. Because remember, there ain't no law of graffiti. Moving forward. Number 4. Alan Arkin pairs with Peter Falk in this 1970s comedy classic? Was it A, Little Murders, B, The In Laws, C, Catch 22, or D, The Sunshine Boys? I shall repeat. Alan Arkin pairs with Peter Falk in this 70s comedy classic. A, Little Murders, B, The In Laws, C, Catch 22, or D, The Sunshine Boys? I'm sorry, Scott. Catch 22, a comedy classic? A dark comedy, maybe. And Superclick is not really a classic. It is two. It is two. I thought the two of them were great together. I thought they were very, very funny. But to own their each. But let's see. Oh, some of you guessed the Sunshine Boys. But no, the correct answer is in fact B, the in-laws, which I thought was a very, very, very funny movie as sort of a political thriller spoof. I thought was excellent. Moving forward to number three, Chaim Topol, of the Fiddle of the Roof himself, had a role in what 80s cult sci-fi classic? A. Altered States, B. Battle Beyond the Stars, C. Flash Gordon, or D. Dune? I shall try to repeat. Chaim Topol, of the Fiddler on the Roof himself fame, had a role in what 80s cult sci-fi classic? A. Altered States, B. Battle Beyond the Stars, C. Flash Gordon, or D. Dune? Gary Cameron says George Burns was in the Sunshine Boys with Walter Matthau. Alan Arkin was in it, but I was that was going to be one of the throwaway. Oh, buffering again, Gary. I'm so sorry. That was going to be one of the throwaway responses. But let's see what we got going on here. I'll give you a hint. It's a movie generally associated with this channel. So little hint for those of you who don't know. The 80s sci-fi cult classic is a film often associated with this channel. Enter. You know, when I'm in the bridge, what I refer to as my den, when I'm in the bridge, whenever somebody comes like knocking at the door for whatever reason, that's how I respond. I'm like, enter. I love that whole enter bit. And Dave says the Warriors. One can associate the Warriors, but no, Dave, have another guess. Thrash. So yes, oh, Dan says nice chest. Thank you. But I was showing off the shirt, not my pecs. But yes, Flash Gordon. Flash. Yes. Chaim Topol plays a Dr. Hans Zarkov. Moving on. Cindy D says, I am the Warriors. Bang, bang. Shooting down the walls of heartache. Bang. This is really becoming a musical show, isn't it? I should have done music trivia again. But then I would have to sing the song. You'd have to guess something about it. Number two. Bob Barker got to beat the snot out of Adam Sandler in this comedy classic. A. Happy Gilmore, B. Billy Madison, C. Waterboy, or D. The Wedding Singer? I shall repeat. Bob Barker got to beat the snot out of Adam Sandler in this comedy classic. A. Happy Gilmore, B. Billy Madison, C. Waterboy, or D. The Wedding Singer? Let's just see. They're kind of pouring in here. Sesame Street, love it. It's just Sesame Street again. But it looks like most of you got it. In fact, I don't see any wrong answers other than Sesame Street, which is a joke answer. Tracy says my dad had the same name as Chaim. LOL, Chaim in English. Well, yeah, that's how I was trying to pronounce it correctly. You always get the goyim saying, "Oh, Choim." Who's Choim? Chaim. One of my favorite to this day. One of my favorite scenes in Family Guy is when they go to the Kiss New England tour, and of course Peter and Mrs. Griffin, name losing for the one, but they of course dress up in the Kiss makeup, and she flubs the song "I Want to Rock and Roll All Night" and have a wonderful time because she doesn't know it's and party every day, and she admits that she never liked Kiss. She was just doing it for Peter. She didn't even like the members, and Peter is destroyed, distraught, and they go to Denny's and they're having breakfast, a late night breakfast, and of course Lois, because of course Gene Simmons calls across to her out of makeup, so you can see his face, and she goes, "Lois, Lois," and she goes, "Chaim, Chaim Whites." And I go, how many people got that joke? How many people knew that Gene Simmons' real name was Chaim Whites? But of course, she recognized him and come to find out that she had dated him years before. And Peter's like, my wife dated Kiss. That means I dated Kiss. But it was just very, very funny. And thank you for mentioning that, Tracy. It's a nice little tidbit. Oh, Dan says the price is wrong. Dominic D says I love the girl in Herman's head. Not sure the actress's name though. I thought she was hysterical. Danny says I do not guess, therefore I am never wrong. All right, I'll buy that. So you're 10 for 10 or 9 for 9 at least. Duskim says your hands hurt. Well, now your back is gonna hurt because guess who just got ditch digging duty? Oh yeah, yeah. That was Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller plays the sociopath at the retirement home who tries to exploit them. Yeah, yeah. Oh, your hands hurt. Well, your back's gonna hurt. Can I have a glass of warm milk? It helps me sleep. Oh, a glass of warm milk? Well, no, you will go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep. Ooh. Yeah, Ben Stiller was actually creepy in that one. Ben Stiller actually can play creepy actually pretty well. But and it would help at one point if I actually gave the answer. And it's of course, yes, Happy Gilmore, and I think everyone got that one. And the number one question, I love this one too. Mrs. Thrash actually came up with this one because she insisted I do a trivia question on Matthew Perry. She's very, very devastated, a huge Friends fan. And the number one question is Matthew Perry was actually friends with this world leader. Was it A, Princess Di, B, Benjamin Netanyahu, C, Pierre Trudeau, or D, Justin Trudeau? I shall repeat. Matthew Perry was actually friends with this world leader. A, Princess Di, B, Benjamin Netanyahu, C, Pierre Trudeau, or D, Justin Trudeau. Oh, Justin, really? King Jong Un are very, very funny. Wouldn't that be a kick, though? If he was friends with him, Kim would have probably kidnapped him and forced him to make movies. I did not make that one up either. But a lot of you did get it. Melissa says Beth is my favorite song by Kiss. I first heard that song when Kiss was on the Paul Lynde 1976 Halloween special. And Peter Chris sang Beth. Excellent, excellent song. Wonderful power ballad. I'm trying to think what my favorite Kiss song would be of all time, though. Uh, I always had a thing for Detroit Rock City or Christine 16, but it's such a raunchy song. When I was 12, it was okay to like Christine 16. Now that's a no-no, so I can't call that one. I must have told you guys this story. Speaking of Kiss, I remember I was like 10 or 11, and my best friend was having a Halloween party. It was a big deal because it was a school night, but they were letting his mom was letting him have a party on a school night. And what happened was he got to invite five friends, and the sister got to invite five friends. And I, of course, being his best friend, was invited. Now, anyway, five guys show up to this party, right? Two of them dressed up as Gene Simmons. That's how big. That's how big Kiss was in would have been 1978. That's how big they were. That literally, you had five Halloween costumes, and two guys were like, "Nope, I'm going to be Gene Simmons." Even if someone else is Gene Simmons, you couldn't even coordinate and say, "Well, you be Gene Simmons, and I'll be Ace Frehley." Nope, we're both going to be Gene Simmons. Oh yes, and before we forget, how about some scores? I did give you the. I didn't give you the answer. Silly me. Okay, the answer, of course, is because you guys all got it. Justin Trudeau, the current king of Canada, premier, president, chancellor, whatever they have, but whatever their head of state is. Yes, Justin Trudeau is was friends with Matthew Perry. Darth Maul. That's another good answer. Okay, so look, we already got some scores in here, which is funny because I just gave the last answer. Watch Me is 9 of 10. Tev is 10 for 10. Zubik says, "What was number 10?" I'm guessing you got it right. It was Trudeau. Cindy D says 4 for 5 or 5 out of 10. No, give yourself 5 out of 5. You can always do the second portion in replay. Zublix. I give you. It was D. D is the answer to 10. Nick says Kiss was so big. Stanley wrote a comic book about them in blood, and Kiss also means Knights in the Service of Satan too, right? Um, Zublix says 4 for 4 because I had to answer a phone call. No problem, Superplex. Um, you can do the rest in replay if you'd like. Chan says happy 2024 all and to you as well. Oh, Gary, you saw Kiss 3 times? That's amazing. Han, how many times did you see Kiss? Mrs. Thrash? How many times did you see Kiss in concert?
Three.
Oh, she also saw them 3 times. Small world. I've never seen them live. I never get to have any fun. Justin says, I hope Gene's blood was tested. Dominic D is 9 for 10. Oh, I'm sorry, what?
You never saw them because you weren't in love with them.
I was too in love with them in a healthy, platonic kind of way. Indy Bounce says 10 for 10. I was in the Kiss Army at age of 9. Horrors and honors and benefits already at the age of 9. Excellent. Did you have the love gun? Remember the love gun? Denny Satan says between 75 and 2005, I saw Kiss 300 times. Show off. I'm very impressed and jealous. Hate you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. It was the booze talking. Duskin was 4 for 10. Oh, a lot of people saying goodnight to Cindy. Oh, Cindy. Oh, someone's leaving. I can't tell if it's Chance or Cindy, but whoever's leaving, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to be leaving too soon, actually, by the way. It's almost 9 o'clock. I've had so much fun tonight, but I want to read the last few comments here. Oh, LOL, Mrs. Thrash. Thank you so much, Cindy. Tracy's giving a lot of toasts for tonight, of course. Keithy is 7 for 10. I just end up the year now. Dave says Richard Simmons. Different Simmons. Actually, you know where he got the name Gene Simmons? It's so funny. He watched a lot of like old biblical movies on TV because they had like no money when he was a kid growing up, and he had a crush on the actress Gene Simmons. So he took her name Gene Simmons and made it the male spelling and made that his stage name. Fun fact there, huh? And Chaim, she never pronounces it right. And Duskim says, "Okay, family time. They have claimed my soul more than I understand." Indy says, "Thanks for the trivia, Thrash." Indy, thanks for joining us. Gary Cameron says, "I don't think I've seen the movie Kiss Meets the Phantom." Mama Thrash hates it when I do this, but I never get a chance. I was I was supposed to be able to stay up late to watch Kiss Meets the Phantom, but I said something impudent to the Colonel. Heaven forfend. So I didn't have to go to bed early, but I couldn't stay up late, so I couldn't see the end of Kiss Meets the Phantom. And she said, "Well, you can watch it when they show it next time." Yeah, they never showed it next time. So anyway, but anyway, I got to see the first half of it, and I did enjoy that part. I actually, this is a true story. Um, my wife, Mrs. Thrash, found a physical media copy of that years ago. I think on videotape at a thrift shop or something, and I started watching it, and I couldn't get through it. I needed to see it with that sort of boyish charm as a child. When I tried watching it as an adult, it's even she's like, it's not good. You know, for crying out loud, was it Peter Chris? He was so wasted half the time they had to dub his voice. But in any event, so I've seen half is the true story. Anyway, I'm gonna have to start saying Happy New Year to you guys because I gotta go. But I've had so much fun tonight, thanks to you. I've had so much fun this year, thanks to you guys. You guys have really, I get so much enjoyment out of these live chats, and it's funny because you go to some live chats and they get hundreds of people, and that's great. That's great. I'd love to have 100 people someday. But you ever notice it? Like, you ever go into somebody else's live chat and the comments just sort of pop up very sporadically and slowly, and they never like go ring like my comment section goes like ring right off the page. It's because you guys are so interactive and have so much to say and contribute so much. And I can't tell you how much your contributions mean to me. So I want to say Happy New Year to every single one of you. I love all of you in a healthy, non threatening kind of way. I want you all to be good, be safe, be careful. I want you to have a superlative, serendipitous. I want you to have a beautiful New Year's Eve tonight. I ask all of you to go and check out RNG if because she's doing that watch. I'm gonna at least stop by and say hi. I don't know how much time I'll be able to spend, but anyway, guys, all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Be excellent to each other. We're gonna have an excellent New Year, I promise you. At least I'm gonna try. And anyway, but until then, be good, be safe, be careful, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all again very, 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 very soon. Peace.